Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And we've got our friend Tom Guinn here with us from the School of the Osage. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I've missed seeing you. We haven't seen you as much recently, and so need to catch up on what's going on activities and athletics-wise at Osage. Let's start off. We're kind of in the transition phase from fall to winter, aren't we?
We are, and it's interesting you say that you haven't had me in a while, because it seems like when we have this interview, it's at the start of the fall, and I kind of give you a rundown of how I think we're going to fare throughout the fall season. But now we're at the tail end of the fall season, and like you said, we're transitioning. If there is a slow period for athletic directors, this is kind of it, because as of this weekend, cross country wrapped up. Football wrapped up, at least at our school. A lot of teams throughout the state are still playing, but Osage anyway, all our fall sports concluded this weekend. Now we're into basketball. Basketball has been practicing for a week. We won't have a game for a few weeks, but we're already there and working hard. Basketball and wrestling is what we offer in the winter, so that's kind of where we are now.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the fall. Great season for the football team. Coach Shannon Jolly and company putting together an 8-3 team. They made the top 10 in Class 4. You were moved up to Class 4 like a year ago. So it was really a pretty good season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it was – when your football team does well, it seems like a lot of other things go well. Kids are in a good mood. The school environment is electric. And so we were proud and obviously pleased to have a phenomenal football season this fall. We finished 8-3. You mentioned the classifications. We enter in the athletic office. We enter that enrollment each year, and this year grades 9 through 11, we were 515 kids. The cutoff for Class 3 is 511. So if we were a few kids, or actually a handful of kids smaller than what we submitted, we would have been in Class 3, which changes everything.
Yeah.
So we were, I guess to simplify that, we were definitely the smallest, or one of the smallest teams in Class 4.
Wow.
So to say we ended up where we ended up is we really performed extremely well as a football team. And we ran into Warrenton, who was ranked Class 4. Enrollment-wise, they're quite a bit bigger than us. Not that you want to dumb down anything that any other school did, but just knowing the difference that makes with your enrollment and things like that. We're proud of what we did this year, and I know you talked to Coach Jolly quite a bit, and he's proud of our team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a great season. A lot of other fall sports as well, soccer. And a couple years ago, they had a great year. Typical high school, you graduate kids, got a new crop coming in. Last year they struggled. This year they were pretty good again.
Yeah, I mean, we were 12-9, and we have 5 seniors who will graduate that we're going to miss quite a bit. Our goalkeeper, Andrew Grews, had a phenomenal season. He's also going to be on our basketball team, and he's a 3-sport athlete. So obviously the soccer team will miss him along with a few others. But we ran into a tough Bolivar team who we actually beat earlier in the season, and they were in our district and ended up knocking us off. But I think they had a great season that we're proud of as well. Coach Lawson was in his first season, who's a very reputable coach, and our team looked different in terms of strategy and things like that. So I think under his leadership for another year or so, when you have that transition between coaches, sometimes things are new, and it takes a little while for kids to pick those things up. And I think over time, it's really going to look great on the soccer field.
Yeah, and this guy, he won't tell you, but he's coached state champion soccer teams in the past.
Sure. Pretty far removed at this point, but
it's funny how those years fly by sometimes. Volleyball, how was volleyball this year?
I'm in the midst of year 4 as an AD at Osage, and this was the best season we've had with our volleyball team. We were 20-9.
Yeah.
We went to a district final against Eldon. Eldon got the best of us, but it went to 5 games, and then they got us in that 5th set only by a couple of points, and so it went down to the wire. And lo and behold, Eldon went on to be a Final Four team. So we were right there with mostly sophomores. We do graduate a few talented seniors, but I think we're getting a lot of critical pieces back to next year's team, and the sky's the limit for that group. I think we have high expectations for next season. They had finished in the conference really well for the first time in, like I said, quite a while. So they're right there, and it was kind of a breakthrough season for us in volleyball.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is.
How about the softball?
Softball was right around 500, Coach Dickerson's third year. That's another team where we're getting a lot of key pieces back. We're only going to graduate 2 seniors. We'll get our catcher and pitcher back, which is, those 2 positions in softball are critically important, and so we'll have them back. And they've, since her first year up until now, I mean, we've grown so much as a team, and I think we'll continue to grow. So we're proud of what the softball team this. We in softball, we tend to get plugged into a really talented district. Fatima's in there, who's state champions last year.
Yep.
Blair Oaks was in there. Eldon's usually in. It's just a really tough district. And your district is going to change from year to year, but typically that's where we fall. And Fulton's always in that group, who has really solid softball, baseball.
Yeah, it makes it tough when you got. It's like your district in football this year. Half the district was in the top 10.
Yes.
That makes it tough when you get into the playoffs.
It does. But hey, you got to beat the best to get, you're going to eliminate the teams as we go, and you got to beat the best to be the best. So,
yeah. And you guys were the 2-time reigning state champions in women's golf going into this year. You had a couple of qualifiers again this year.
Yeah, so fall of 22, we won the state championship. Fall of 23, we won the state championship. And now, obviously, fall of 24, we were hoping to three-peat. It didn't quite happen for us, but there were 2 girls that qualified to go to the state round. And the India Ruse and Kit Westermeyer, those 2 girls were on those state championship teams, and they were back again this year. They both qualified and performed well at state. So, you're going to have those cycles and those ebbs and flows, and so it's hard to stay on top. You start to get that target on your back and things. But Coach Squire is still our head coach there, and he seems pretty confident that we're gonna get there again in time. And we just continue to look good with girls golf.
That's fantastic. All right, so we're getting caught up on everything School of the Osage, activities, athletics. It is Tom Guinn, the activities director. We'll be back with more on the COMC Community Spotlight Show. Central Ozarks Medical Center, voted Missouri's best and best at the lake, is recruiting team members due to growth. Amazing employment opportunities for both medical and non-medical positions with competitive salaries and outstanding perks. For more information, go to the Careers tab at centralozarks.org. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Join a leader. Join our team. COMC, where your health is our mission. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the polar plunge to festivals, parades, aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We're talking with Tom Guinn, Activities Director over the School of the Osage. There's so much to talk about. We can barely squeeze it in, in a show. So and we're kind of wrapping up fall sports here. Cross country team had a good season. Yeah,
our girls team, 5-time district champions. They've won the district championships the past 5 years. They were also conference champions this year. We had a state medalist in Rosie Falter. So we're just really proud of our cross country team. It's Coach Hill, and she continues to produce some of the best runners in the state. And so the state championship meet was this past weekend up at Gons Creek in Columbia. And like I said, if you go in our gym and you look at the banners, it's consistently cross country. So we're really proud of them and what they did this weekend.
That's so cool. Yeah. Coach Hill is so cool.
Yeah.
We tend to focus on the sports, but the activities are big too. I mean, you're always busy with band and cheer and dance and all of that stuff. and you have one of the best bands going.
Yeah, I mean, all those groups are important, but I think in terms of fine arts, band is kind of the prominent leader throughout the fall, and he generally goes to 3 different competitions a year, and he puts a lot of time and effort into deciding which. I'm talking about director, Mr. Kyle. And this year we went to 3 different competitions, and we took what we call grand champion, which is first place. We took grand champion in 2 out of 3 competitions. So another group that continues to shine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big time. And you don't hear about that a lot of times.
No, I mean, we do. I think within our school community, we hear about it quite a bit. And we have a lot of school communication letters that go out weekly, but they're mostly internal or with alumni. And so I think, again, amongst our community, you'll hear about it, and hopefully we can broadcast it on Lake TV.
That's why we're here.
And brag about our fine arts department, because we do. We share kids a lot, and that can become turbulent. Turbulent probably is the right word, but in terms of scheduling and things like that, it presents some difficulties, but we do what we can to present opportunities for kids.
Sure, and that's all you can do. Okay, so let's move over into the winter sports now. So basketball is starting up, and you've got brand new head coaches for both the men and the women this year.
Yeah, so if we start with the boys, Craig Engelbrecht, Coach E, who's a prominent figure in Central Missouri basketball. He was at Eugene for years and years and years, and then had a run with Osage as well. He was with us for 4 or 5 years and did wonderful things. But now he's chosen to go back to Eugene, and we wish him all the best. He's not gonna. I don't want to set alarms for anybody. He's going to be a freshman coach at Eugene, and I just say all that because we still communicate from time to time. And actually, we've added a freshman game upon his request, which is good for both schools. And, but anyway, on to who's going to be taking over leadership for our boys basketball program. Jeff Henshaw, who has a phenomenal record and resume in basketball. He's had some time at the college level. And then ultimately decided he wanted to coach high school basketball, and he was under the mentorship of Coach E for quite a while. He's been our assistant basketball coach at Osage ever since Coach E's been around, and so we were very confident in giving him the opportunity to be the next leader of our boys basketball program. And I can say, even though we haven't played a game yet so far, his organization, his communication, his interactions with kids have been really remarkable up to this point, and so we're really confident that he's going to do a great job for us.
Yeah, I love Coach E, and then the new coach for the ladies.
So Coach Volkart, David Volkart, he was at Russellville for quite a while and did some coaching there, and then jumped into administration. And that's such a different role that sometimes you fall in love with it and sometimes you don't. And so he went from coaching to administration, and now he's back to coaching. And some people just can't get away from it because they love it. And they're good at it. And I would put Coach Volkart under that category, in that he's going to do a wonderful job for us as well. He's inherited a team that was 20-8 last year. We did lose about 30 points from our lineup, so he's going to have his hands full and kind of making up some ground there. But I'm confident we've got a really strong sophomore class that he has to work with. And I think both of those coaches in their new positions are going to have standout years. Yeah,
and we'll have them on the high school basketball coaches show coming up, so we'll introduce them to you as well. And also girls and boys wrestling, a winter sport. Yeah, so we had a handful of state qualifiers last year. Coach Folsang and Coach Cordia, some schools, depending on your size, and again, going back to that enrollment, some schools will separate their boys and girls coaches and some schools won't. We do separate ours. Coach Cordia runs our girls program, and Coach Folsang runs our boys program. A lot of times they spend time on the mat working on the same thing at the same time, but ultimately, the positions are separated. And we're kind of starting to get our own identities in the two groups as well, meaning that we're getting enough interest in our girls wrestling program that they're starting to take on their own schedule, and our girls will go in separate tournaments than our boys on certain weekends and things like that. So I would love to just tell you that our girls program, in terms of participation levels, is increasing quite a bit, which is exciting for us. Yeah, that's fantastic. So as you can see, a lot going on over the School of the Osage. We'll have Tom Guinn back with us to update us on everything here in a few months. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
appreciate everything.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. And thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.
watching Lake TV.